What's up, guys? We are back with a brand new wave of Power Rangers Lightning Collection figures, and we have to start off with the only MMPR figure in this wave because, well, we have to. So we're taking a look at TRINI today. We're taking a look at our Yellow Ranger. We've got her here in our standard Lightning Collection packaging, which, frankly, I just can't get enough of. We've got the figure there in the window, some great stylized artwork on the side that wraps around the actual side panel of the box, and on the back of the package you've got a shot of TRINI in that kind of rendered art style. So let's do it. Let's pull her out and take a look. And here she is out of the package, our Yellow Ranger TRINI figure, and I think this is the first female figure that I have reviewed. I still never got around to reviewing MMPR Pink for whatever reason. But we're going to take a look at this one today, and there's a lot of good stuff going on here. There's some okay stuff as well, but this continues the trend of the Lightning Collection still being one of my favorite current lines because, well, they're just giving us a lot of stuff here. So let's see how she moves, see how she can articulate, because she is, of course, different from the male figures. The joint structure is not the same. Arms, specifically, are not the same. So you've got a head that can look up pretty far. She can look down pretty good, basically all the way. You've got rotation at the neck. Arms go out at the shoulders, of course. Got a really agile butterfly joint there. So she goes out. We've got a butterfly joint. Moves pretty far, actually. The range of motion is really nice. And then you've got rotation at the shoulder. We've got a single jointed, so basically 90 degrees elbow with rotation, and then she's got hinges and rotation at the wrist. We do have a diaphragm cut up here, so it's basically just a ball peg that goes up into the top of the torso, and then we've got one down there at the waist, which gives you a little bit of an ab crunch, and then she goes backwards. She goes backwards, I'd say, a little bit better than forwards. She only really goes over about that far. And then, of course, you can twist at that upper torso cut. Legs go out, almost full splits, pretty good. She kicks forward all the way. She has a little bit of a back kick. You've got your thigh cut, double jointed knees, of course, and then you've got your boot cut. We've got rocker. We've got hinges down at those ankles. So she is, I mean, she's pretty standard as far as female figures in this line goes, but she's definitely not as articulated as the males, kind of the Marvel Legends syndrome going on here when it comes to male versus female bodies, but she still has pretty solid movement, especially because of those butterfly joints. Now, as far as the overall look and feel here, well, there's not a whole lot to talk about. It's either, is it good or is it bad? Because, you know, we've had the big thing, at least for me, in that the color difference between torso and limbs has been just kind of a pain point. And it's been the most prominent, at least for me, on the Pink Ranger, because I swear her torso is almost purple. It's so different from the rest of the body, unless they've gotten around to finally fixing that. This figure, though, is really nice. There is almost no difference as far as I can tell. It's very, very, very close. Under the right lighting conditions, you could maybe see that the upper torso is not exactly the same color as her midriff, but it's really close. It's not nearly as night and day difference as the Pink Ranger, or with the Red Ranger being kind of darker in the torso than the rest of the body. The figure in general looks pretty good. She is on the same body as Kimberly. Of course, this is not a skirted Ranger because in the Sentai, Yellow Ranger was a boy whose name was actually Boy, but you know, you've got your same Ranger female style body here. So this is the same body as Kimberly, just minus the skirt piece that has the belt on top of that. So you've got basically your standard Ranger body with your suit, your cuffs with the diamonds painted on them. Pretty clean, pretty crisp. I don't have any real issues with that. The diamonds on the chest are nicely done. Diamonds on the back are pretty good. No real bleeding. It's very, very solid. I don't really see much yellow peeking through there. So yeah, there's not a lot to gripe about. Morpher's pretty solid. There is some hint of a saber-tooth tiger in there. It's so small, it's kind of hard to make it out, but the colors are good and everything looks right. She does have some nice, you know, kind of clawed expressions for the hands, which work really well as far as like her transformation stance and just, you know, the call outs and everything. So that works really well. And then, of course, you know, you've got this helmet up here, which I think the sculpt is pretty nice. It's maybe a little on the soft side just in terms of the line work on it, but the overall details are there. The black is really crisp and clean. The metallic silver for the fangs and the nose and the mouth of the actual Ranger helmet itself, really good, really solid. And then the little black eyes that peek through up there are nicely done. I don't have a whole lot to gripe about on this one. She just looks like she's supposed to, and the colors, again, that's always been kind of a thing for me lately. The colors are just vibrant and they match throughout the figure. They're maybe the smallest a bit off compared to the the rest of the body, that torso, but as far as comparisons to the other Rangers, I'd say her colors have matched really nicely, and she just looks very consistent throughout. Now, as far as accessories goes, TRINI comes with basically the same kind of stuff that you would expect to get out of this line, and that is to say she comes with a lot of stuff. So to start with, we have got an extra head sculpt. So just like with almost every other figure in this line, we've got an unhelmeted head. So we've got an actual civilian-style TRINI head, so Twee Trang's likeness here, and it's honestly, if I'd have to put my money on it, I would say that this is the best MMPR head sculpt that we've gotten so far. Some of them have been okay. The Jason David Frank ones have been okay. I don't really think the Austin St. John one is very good. The Kimberly head sculpt, the Amy Jo Johnson, is kind of a wreck. So this one really brings it home. I think it's got a lot of detail there. The likeness is really solid. Paint applications are really good. I, again, do not use these at all, but I'm glad that people who want them finally have the chance to get them and to use them and display them on their shelf. I'd say, again, this is probably the best one. We do have some extra hands, so you've got a replacement left hand here with kind of like a flat palm karate chop style, and then you've got a replacement right hand with a more style pose, a slightly weird gripping style hand as well. So you can use this to hold something or to just put her into a pose without any weapons in her hands. And speaking of weapons, we do have the Blade Blaster. So we've got this here, and again, just like with all the standard Rangers so far, this is the gun version, which is not how it's supposed to be holstered. I really wish that they would give us both versions. It does look good, sculpt is great, paint is really good, but I really wish they would give us both versions just like they did with the SDCC set. She does have her power daggers here, so we've got 2 daggers with yellow and silver accents on them. Sculpt is really nice, the size is good. In general, I don't have any issues with these. They look pretty much how they should look. And then for those, because this is a huge thing with this line, we've got energy effects. So we've seen this before. This is the same one that comes with the White Ranger. It's blue in that set, and it's got a little slot, whereas it's kind of hard to see it right there. So you can put it on the end of her power dagger, but it comes with 2 because she's got 2 daggers, so she gets 2 effects, which honestly is pretty great. She is very loaded with accessories, and you can put a lot of stuff on her at any given time. So you can have the Blade Blaster in the holster, 2 daggers in, 2 effect pieces. You can really load her up with a bunch of stuff. You know I'm a big fan of that, but in general, just like the rest of this line, they really threw a lot of stuff at this figure, and it's all pretty solid. So overall, we've got another solid entry in the MMPR line of Rangers here. And let's face it, that's the team that matters the most to me. I started with Power Rangers when I was 8 years old, and that was when it started in '93. So I've been very much looking forward to completing this team by Hasbro because they've shown us that they can make some really solid action figures when it comes to this particular license. They're throwing a lot of new articulation at it, and frankly, they are cramming the boxes full of accessories, and that's truly what I'm in this for. They're just giving us so much stuff when it comes to this line, and there's really a lot to enjoy here. The only real downside to this figure compared to the overwhelming majority of figures in this line so far is that the male figures are more articulated than the females. We're kind of used to that with Hasbro, but it's still kind of a bummer when she can't move quite as well as some of the boys. Otherwise, though, this is a great entry in the line. I'm really excited to have this one, and we are 2 normal Rangers away from finishing with blue, and then we'll get our regular black down the road. So, yeah, snatch her up while you can. So that's going to do it for this look at the Power Rangers Lightning Collection MMPR Yellow Ranger. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.